Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Novel Nana. I'm Bex. So today I have another Camp Nano video for you. Now this one is different from the last video, which was an acronym to kind of get that project rolling, get it started. Just a little way for you to remember the things that you needed to compile to be able to begin that story. So today's video is different. This video, we are going to be talking about the steps that you can take and the things you might need to consider if you haven't already got a project that you are going to be working on. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is setting your own goals, the prep work for Camp Nano, and how actually it is different from NaNoWriMo. Also, the things that we're going to be talking about is identifying the project, establishing a progress plan or a way to track that progress. We're also going to be talking about setting your schedule up for success, creating realistic and specific goals, and number 5, preparing your environment, and of course, number 6, setting up incentives or rewards for your project's progress. So, number 1, identifying your project. So what exactly are you wanting to work on during the month of April for Camp Nano? Now, the difference between Camp Nano and NaNoWriMo is NaNoWriMo, which stands for National Novel Writing Month. Usually there is a 50,000 word count goal to be completed within a specific time period, which is the month of November. So in Camp Nano, you don't actually have to write a 50,000 word manuscript because unlike NaNoWriMo, for camp, you can set your own goals, whether that be a time goal, a word count goal, a page number goal, or even if you want to consider if you're going to be writing a story or editing a story or revising a previous work, or even drafting something new or outlining something new. Literally, Camp Nano can be used for whatever you need for that month. It's just a way to kickstart your motivation and get you planning that next project. So when you're considering whether you're going to be writing, editing, or revising, and if you are going to be doing a story, are you going to be doing a short story, a novella, a novel? Is it going to be flash fiction or maybe a collection of poems? So that's what you're going to be deciding is when you identify your project. So what exactly do you want to accomplish in the month of April for Camp Nano? Writing related goals. So number 2, let's establish a progress plan or a way to track your progress for whatever planned project you have started on or committed to. So what I mean by this is you want to be able to track your goals so that you know you're moving forward and you know that you are making that progression within that goal, whatever you have set for yourself. So you want to establish the plan in order to track that progress. So are you going to be doing, a time tracker? You could make a chart. You could do one of those things, Kanban boards, that you can literally move to show your progress visually. It's just really whatever's going to work for you. And just come up with your own way to track your progress that fits in with whatever it is that your project is, whether that be, a time constraint or a word count that you're trying to hit. Whatever the case may be, you got to do what works for you. But if you are setting a goal for yourself, then it only makes sense to figure out a way to track your progress in reaching that goal. Okay, so on to number 3. This is setting your schedule up for success. And what I mean by this is when you have a project, when you first come at a new project, you're going to want to figure out scheduling, time. You're going to want to schedule the time in a way that it sets you up for success. So if you are more creative, as an example here, if you're more creative in the early morning hours, or maybe you're more creative at night. Maybe you're a night owl. or maybe your free time comes, in the late afternoon. Whatever that time is, you need to make sure you're setting yourself up for success, for the best productivity that you can manage or whatever during that specific schedule of time. So set your schedule up for success. Don't plan your writing time or your project time, whatever it is that you're going to be doing. Don't plan it during, the busiest hours of the day or of the week or whatever the case may be. A lot of people actually have jobs, and so they have to schedule that writing or creative time for their project around those hours. So just remember to set your schedule up for success. So whatever times are going to be most convenient, most productive for you specifically to reach this goal. Okay, so on to the next one. Number 4, creating realistic and specific goals. So this is kind of self-explanatory, guys, but for the sake of this video, I will go ahead and explain what I mean by this. Okay, so you don't want to just create a goal. You want to be more specified towards what your progress and your success is going to look like. You're going to create realistic and specific goals that are going to be attainable for you. So like small bite-sized chunks. So maybe you could create a daily goal, a weekly goal, or even as down to like an hourly goal. Maybe you want to set it up where if you have a couple of hours during the day that you can commit to working on the project, maybe for that specific time, you could say, from this time, sorry, my phone is dinging, guys. I'm going to ignore it. It's across the room. So I'm sorry, bear with me. But I forgot where I was at. Oh my goodness. I hate when this happens, but y'all know me. Eventually it'll come back around and I'll get back on track. So creating that realistic and specific goals, meaning make them attainable, small bite-sized chunks. If you set your mind to it and say, okay, during the hours of 9 a.m. and 10 a.m., I'm going to hit this specific word count, or I'm going to hit this specific page goal. And you dedicate that time specifically for that goal. That's pretty much is all I can explain it. I just don't want you to set the goal or the bar so high that you can't reach it. So you want to break down your project into smaller, digestible chunks, things that you know that you can see the immediate effects of. As far as progress goes, you can actually track that and see exactly, where you're at in that specific project. Okay, moving along. Number 5, prepare your environment. I cannot stress this enough, guys. Okay, so we all have that, creative space, whether that be, in your bedroom or in your office or on the couch or maybe at a coffee house or whatever the case may be. You want to prepare your environment. So whatever you're used to or wherever you're used to writing or being the most productive, think about that as your setting. So preparing your environment, meaning getting rid of distractions. Making sure that it's a comfortable space. The temperature is good. The ambiance is good. Or at least setting you up for the best possible outcome and productivity. So that's what I mean by preparing your environment. So if that means hanging a sign on your door and saying, do not enter, or, busy writing or whatever it is, just prepare that space for yourself so you know that you're not going to get any interruptions. You're not going to be distracted, whether that means putting your phone in a different place like I should have done, whether that means turning off the internet or just a quiet space or whatever the case may be. Prepare your environment. Set yourself up for success. Okay, so number 6, the final thing here, guys. We made it. Okay, setting up incentives. Why can't I say that word? incentives or rewards for your project and the progress that you're making. So some people work better when they can see a reward in sight. So if that means at the end of the day, maybe you set your word count for, I don't know, like 200 words. So at the end of the day, had you reached that 200 words, which was your specific goal, give yourself a reward. You know, sometimes we need that extra push. Like, if I just make it to this 200 word mark, then I'm going to treat myself to a latte or whatever, whatever works for you. But set up the incentives and rewards. So when you do track that progress, you will feel better knowing what you have achieved and accomplished throughout the day. Okay, guys, I think that's pretty much it. Now, whatever you're choosing to do, whether that be setting a time goal, a word count goal, a page goal, whether that be drafting, outlining, brainstorming, whether that be for writing, editing, revising, or for a story, a short story, a novella, flash fiction, a novel, a collection of poems, whatever the case may be, just remember that you're going to want to do the best you can to prep for this camp. Set yourself up for success. And, Camp Nano is obviously different. You can find support through, different forums and different groups on the social medias to get that support of others that are going through the same thing as you at the same time. Now, it's not going to be as expansive as it is for, say, NaNoWriMo in November, but for the most part, you can still find support and others who are going along this journey with you. Also, now remember that Nano is different because you can change that goal in the middle of the month or in the middle of that project. If you finish, say you set up a miniature goal or whatever, and you reach it, and then you want to move on to the next thing. So maybe you started out I don't know, drafting, and maybe you got through the short story or whatever within, a couple weeks of the month, and then maybe you can change your goal now onto revising or editing or whatever the case may be. So you are allowed to have that flexibility and change things up if you need to. But that's my Camp Nano for you, the prep and things to consider. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you are able to somehow use this, to help you in your writing journey and for your progress for Camp Nano. But that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I do appreciate you. And if you like this type of video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to know when I upload next, just hit that bell. It'll notify you. It's usually Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 a.m. Central Time. And happy writing, guys. I can't wait to read some of your stories. I know that it's going to happen. I know that you're going to reach your goals. I believe in you. And I, for one, will always be your cheerleader. So I hope to see you guys around in the writing community, and I wish you the best of luck and all the progress, just all of it. Anyway, subscribe if you want to, guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!